A lot of the press have been, what, this is your third press conference for Globe Live, right? Okay, so I'm going to make a statement right now. All the other press conferences you've gone to, this is probably the biggest news. So I'm very excited about this. You know, if you look at what Globe Live has done, for some of you that are here that are for the press because you cover music, let me tell you a little about what we did in the theater space, because I know there's a lot of my theater friends here. We partnered with Nine Works, which we thought was a very innovative, forward-thinking theater company. And I think most of you think that when Globe gets involved with it, because it's actually taken almost 2 years to get everyone to understand it's not a sponsorship. And, you know, it's a production, it's co-production, we're involved in every element, no pun intended, of the execution, right? So what I want to start off with today is what I'm about to show you is our journey into music, because we think we have changed the face of theater, and that's not being arrogant. That's because there's a fine line between arrogance and confidence. That's called success, right? And we've had great success in the space of theater. We're about to put the powers of Globe behind the music industry. And similar to the press conference you saw on the Apple Hiking Society musical, we're moving from Broadway in theater to local theater, right, and producing local. Our effort that I'm about to tell you about, that I'm so excited to get to slide 3, is to put that same machine around Filipino music, okay? So elements. When you look at elements, all the things that Ryan just talked about is what I fell in love with Elements about, you know, and because it was a work of passion of these 3 people, you know, Twinkie, Ryan, and June. It's passion, right? They weren't in it for the money. They weren't in it to make, you know, stars of themselves. They were in it to help the local artists discover who they were. So when we got involved, when June first talked to me about Elements and said, Joe, can you take over Elements? Because we know you think big, we know Globe thinks big and has the resources and has partners. What would you do with Elements if you had it? What I'm about to show you is what we're going to do with Elements. First of all, those of you familiar with Elements, this is a new logo. We decided to create a new logo because it is that different what we're about to show you. Where Elements in the past has been about developing the artist, and I think that's important. The challenge that I look at, right, and I ask this question to all of you in the room, why has the Philippines not broke an international artist? We have some of the most talented people in the world in the Philippines. It's acknowledged worldwide. Best singers, best musicians, best songwriters. My belief, because I have 17 years in the music industry, I have 5 gold records, right? I know what I'm doing. Alanis Morissette, mine. Aha, Take On Me, mine. Beastie Boys, Fight for the Right to Party, mine. Okay? So there's a thing in music, and it's a very fascinating thing. It's called the sound, right? I mean, Motown. When I say Motown, you know what Motown is. I talk about the Philly sound. You know what the Philly sound is, right? You look at YouTube's success, it was in creating this big sound. As opposed to rock and roll, traditionally the sound was a lead guitar, maybe a little bass, but it was mainly about lead guitars. That was a sound. I think one of the interesting things about the Philippines is you have a sound too. And it's been very consistent over the years. I've lived in the Philippines now 20 plus years, right? And when I drive in my car and I hear Filipino music, yes, because I listen to OPM, I say to my wife, I said, is that a Philippine original or is that an international copy? Because it's typically what we do is we copy, right? I'm floored when I find out it's an original. I say, why wasn't that a worldwide hit? Right? It's because of the platform that the artists in the Philippines are given, right? It's not reaching beyond the Philippines. And the sound is for the Philippines, it's not for the world. So what I'm going to show you now is what we're going to do with Elements in the hopes of giving 10 artists a chance to complete on a global stage, not on a Filipino stage. It starts with the Philippines. Hence why the new logo. Next slide. So, what we wanted to do in this next thing is to try to find the greatest producers and the greatest artists and put them together in one room. So we've assembled mentors. Next slide. We've assembled mentors from the Philippines, many of them sitting at this table right here. These mentors are legendary within the Philippines, and they will be part of the camp. That's always been the whole piece about the camp, is try to get people who are as passionate, and I'll move to the side if you want to take pictures. Hold on. I'll talk over here. Go ahead, pictures. There you go, and then I'll step back in. Okay? Did you all get your pictures? Okay, good. Sorry for the setup. So, all of these people, I'm not going to go through each of them. You should know who these people are. And you know what? If you don't know who these people are, that's part of the problem. You know the artist, right? You don't realize the talent behind the scene of creating a song. Particularly the producers. The producers are one of the most important elements of making a song. So one of the major changes that we're doing with Elements is to create the possibility of a different sound, right? So in order to create the possibility of a different sound, I want producers sitting beside the great producers of the Philippines, as much a master class for the artists as it is for the producers in the Philippines. And guess what? Vice versa. As much a master class for these international producers to hear how the Philippines produces their sound. Because it's the combination of the two that will create something magic. And then I'll talk about what we're going to do once that's created. So this is the slide, the next series of slides. I'm really thrilled. Twinkie has done a marvelous job of not only putting together some of the best Filipino mentors, we're bringing in international producers to sit alongside of them. So who are we bringing in? We start with Stephen Lillywhite. If you don't know who Stephen Lillywhite is, you probably know U2. In fact, he produced 3 of the first 4 U2 albums. He created the YouTube sound. Stephen Lillywhite, legendary, right? By the way, they don't have the Rolling Stones is there too, yeah. Rolling Stones. He produced David Matthews Band, The Killers, The Smiths, The Psychedelic Furs. I can go on and on and on and on. Can you imagine if you're an artist and you get to work with one of these great guys at the table and the legendary Stephen Lillywhite on one song? Right? One song. The sound. He's famous for the big sound. He changed rock and roll. He's a legend. He's coming to the Philippines. And he's coming with a passion. What I love about when we talk to these international producers is they ask the same question. Why has the Philippines never broke an artist? I want to come and help. And they're coming to help. Next producer that's coming in. By the way, six-time Grammy. Yo, yeah. Harvey's Justin Bieber. Anyone know Justin Bieber? Yeah. No, Justin Bieber, right? Lily Kim, right? Eminem, right? He's the guy that put Eminem on the map. He's coming. He's excited. He's excited to hear new, fresh, undiscovered talent because he knows the voice is here. The question is the head here? Meaning the way to construct a song, the way to write a song, all the stuff that Elements used to teach, right? Who else is coming? Ferry. Now, if you don't know Ferry, this guy's very fascinating, right? You know Ferry through the music that he's made. This is electronic music, EDM. He's famous for remixing a lot of existing bands. In fact, off the record, you can't say this, but he's working right now with one of the biggest bands to remix one of their classic songs. So I think EDM is an interesting vibe. And this is one of the things, Ferry, I'm really excited about because you may think you're an artist that has a certain genre. You take a simple, beautiful, slow song that you do, and it's now a dance song because of electronic music. So it could define a total different genre within the Philippines that isn't explored. We don't really do a lot of electronic music, right? So we wanted to bring him in. Next artist. Excited about this guy here. Blue is considered one of the hottest producers now in the U.S. He's like one of the most sought after young producers. I mean, look at the names. Usher, Neo, Robin Thicke, Chera, right? You guys know these people, right? You know their music. Can you imagine sitting in a studio with a Philippine artist, collaborating on a song? What's that going to sound like? I have no idea. No idea. But it has a chance, doesn't it? Right? The next international artist that's coming in, this guy here is my favorite. Stu Clark, man. Def Jam Records. Def Jam Records is in the house. They're coming to the Philippines. This is the head of Def Jam Records, press. This is why I'm so excited. I mean, I start with Stephen Lillywhite. I end with this guy, man. This is John Legend, right? This is Nicki Minaj. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous to even say that in the Philippines, right? Right? Can you see how excited I am for the Philippines? I'm Filipino, man. I live here. I get so frustrated when I hear such great talent, and I ask the same question. Why have we never broken an artist international? Maybe it's the sound. Maybe it's the ear. Maybe it's what we do when we produce the same music over and over for the last 100 years. These guys are coming in to challenge that. Not to change it, to challenge it. And maybe the combination, when you get in that studio and you start recording this stuff with the artist, they'll discover something. You'll discover something. Triple layer bass stuff on YouTube made a sound that nobody heard. Right? It's stuff like that. That's what Elements is hoping to do. Now, this is not enough, by the way. This is not enough. Why is it not enough? Because when you're trying to potentially, by the way, Twinkie gets very nervous when I say this next thing. When you're trying to make a hit, yes, we are trying to make a hit. Sorry, Twinkie, okay? Because she's going, if you say that in the press, they're going to say you're going to make a hit. No, everybody who records a song thinks it's going to be a hit. Where they're delusional is what you do when you come out of the studio. Listen, the first time I heard Aha, right? You guys know Aha, right? The music? What the hell is that? Right? What were they thinking? What kind of hook is that? Then I saw the video. Right? I get it. The song sucks, but the video is great. Right? Because then it all becomes about marketing. Now, who's our partners at Globe? Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, right? Hook, iFlix, platforms, eyeballs, right? So our commitment behind this is why I'm saying it's not a sponsorship. I will kill the first press person that I read that says, Globe sponsoring Elements. We are not, right? We're going to leverage those partners. You saw the Spotify sign in the back of the Spotify when you came in. Spotify is very interested in this platform, right? And as one of the premium platforms in the Philippines and premium partners with us, we intend, once they come out of the studio with all these great people, to now put that music to the world. Not to the Philippines. Because by default, I would hope and pray that the press encourages the Philippines to embrace this. Do you think we have the top 2 most beautiful places in the world in all those travel magazines with the underground river in Palawan because it actually is the top 2 most beautiful places? No, it's because most of those lists are by voting. And all the Filipinos take so much pride that they vote. That's what drives those things up through the chart. Guess what? Same thing here. You'll have 10 artists you can get behind. Filipino pride. This is not about Globe. This is not about the people sitting at this table. It's a mission. It's a purpose. We're going to give the best platform possible for any artist in the Philippines who's ever had. We've got the great Filipino producers, we got international producers, and we have a platform to put the 10 songs on and make sure not only people in the Philippines hear about it, people in the world hear about it. Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Right? Sounds like it has a chance. Has a chance only if the press helps us get the word out. Okay? Is that clear? Okay. You with me on this one? Wow, you're really excited. I can tell. Are we serving alcohol later? I'm not sure. Okay. So we want to introduce Filipino music to the world. You know, I was at a big conference. I think there was like 500 people at this conference, and we had a Q&A. And the Q&A person said to me, you know, because Globe Studios got Birdshot on Netflix. First Filipino film, Globe Studios got it on Netflix. First Filipino film to be aired worldwide. And the question was asked to me, how did you get Birdshot on Netflix? And I actually answered it. It got quoted and it went viral. Okay? You know what my answer was? Stop making Filipino movies for Filipinos. Make Filipino movies for the world. So I use the same quote for music. Stop making Filipino music for Filipinos. Make Filipino music for the world. That's what Elements, the new Elements is about. Okay? Next slide. So, this is what we're looking for. And some of these genres don't exist in the Philippines. The talent and the artist exist, but they don't have a platform. Right? So we're looking for pop, obviously, big genre in the Philippines. Rock, a huge genre in the Philippines, right? We're looking for R&B, niche in the Philippines. Show me some love. I'm an R&B guy, right? Find me, and you go out, you press people, you have friends, go out and find me the next big R&B artist, right? Hip-hop. Hip-hop is this underground culture scene. It's gotten pretty big. And by the way, hip-hop runs the gamut of rap. But there's still this core hip-hop usher kind of stuff, right? Where's that artist? I want that artist. You saw 3 of the mentors are really big into this particular genre. Where are these artists? Okay? And then electronic I already talked about, right? So we're looking for artists within each of these categories. So the question you might be asking is, what if everybody shows up as rock? I'll keep looking. That's simple, right? I want the best in each of these genres. What I don't want is 10 rock and rollers in the camp. Why are we flying in all these international people if I'm going to get 10 rockers? Stephen Lillywhite will be thrilled. Everyone else will be pissed off. It's like, what are you doing? Okay? So this is kind of the peg. Now, who are we looking for? Next slide. 21 to 35 years old. By the way, we fought a lot about this. It was 21 to 30. As more people started finding out about, can you push it to 40? I'm 62. I think I can rock with the best of them. You know, it's like, oh my God. Okay. So we raised it to 35. Now, the age thing specifically is because there will be a strong commitment of time. There'll be obviously a commitment after the camp, which most people aren't aware of the grueling rigor that goes behind trying to make a hit. Okay, you got to put in a lot of work on this stuff. So that's the age. Must be a resident of the Philippines and of Philippine descent or be a Philippine citizen. So no foreigners allowed. Okay? Now, if the essence of being a resident is there's a lot of Philippine, 50% Filipino, 50% American, 50% Filipino, 50% Indian, take your pick, and they're residents here. Yes, they're eligible, right? So we're trying to keep the net cast as big as we can, right? So that's the next requirement. They must write and sing their own original music. So what they will submit to the camp is 1 to 2 original songs. It cannot be a song that's already been previously recorded or signed or released. This is supposed to be fresh and new. Okay? I think I missed the last bullet, but it's this. And you cannot be signed as a recording artist on any current label. Right? Now, you can be signed as a distribution. That's okay. Distribution's different than a signed recording label, right? Because there's many independent musicians and artists in the Philippines that have distribution contracts, like with Warner, right? That's okay. In fact, it's a requirement.